What's up everyone, I'm Callum on Toast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing not one, but two 100% Shadow Pokemon in the Ultra Premier Cup, and they are going to be Hypno and Girafarig. You guys will have noticed that the intros always have me walking alongside my buddy Girafarig. You might have been wondering, why on earth am I walking a Girafarig? Well, now you know, I have a 100% Shadow Girafarig, so I am trying to grind for those XL candies, and even after nearly a full season I still don't have enough candies to fully power it up, so do take that in mind. We're not seeing the full potential of the Shadow Girafarig, but it is at level 47.5 and I've finally been able to TM away frustration, so despite not being fully maxed out yet, it is at least usable. So I'm going to be pairing it with my other 100% Shadow Pokemon, Shadow Hypno, which is level 50, and then to round out the team in the lead I've got Scrafty to cover the glaring weakness to dark types in the back, as Scrafty is the best dark type slayer. So there is one standout team that I think we're really going to struggle up against, and that's going to be the Nidoqueen double dark team. Usually Scrafty and Obstagoon, but sometimes it's Umbreon or Mandibuzz. Yeah, the team is going to be a massive issue for my team, but I really haven't seen it that much this season in the Ultra Premier Cup, so fingers crossed we don't run into it today. And with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What is your best IV Shadow Pokemon? Now, this could be hundos, this could be rank 1 or rank 2, whatever, for the Great League, for the Ultra League. Just let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle here, we lead Scrafty into Nidoqueen, so not a very good lead for us. We're going to swap into the Hypno. I've got a hunch it's going to be double dark, and they come in with Obstagoon, so that is a pretty strong indicator that they are running double dark here. They're going to go for a Night Slash. We're going to commit to the Focus Blast here, but they're already at another Night Slash, and that is unfortunate. I'm actually going to shield up in this matchup, and hopefully they let the Focus Blast go through, but since I'm shielding, yeah, they're pretty obviously going to shield as well, and they're going to be able to probably counter me down, although I am going to commit to the Focus Blast here. My opponent recognizing they're not going to be able to fully counter me down before I get to another move, and they go for the Night Slash. They get an attack boost. Things are just not going our way so far. We're going to let this move go through. Unfortunately, they're not running Cross Chop, so I do go for the Power Punch here, and one more counter should be enough to take out this Obstagoon here. And my opponent's going to come back in with the Nidoqueen here, so I'm actually trying to force them to throw their energy, but they do farm all the way up to the Earth Power. They go for the Earth Power, it takes out my Scrafty, and they do have their own Scrafty in the back. So the one team that I said that this team was going to struggle with, we ended up going up against it in my first battle. We actually get a shield from the Scrafty. I really didn't expect them to shield the first move there, because we could obviously go for a Psychic Fangs bait. They're going to go for another Power Punch. There's no point shielding here. Power Punch going to take out the Girafarig, and I do lose that game 1 there. So not the best start with this team, but hopefully things do get better for us into the next game, and we lead into another Nidoqueen. We're going to swap into Hypno. This is going to be the same team, isn't it? They come in with a Scrafty. This time, at least this time, we will be able to get to the Focus Blast before they get to 2 super effective charge moves to take us out. We're going to go for it here. Please, Scrafty, just let the Focus Blast go through. Nope, they shield it, and yeah, I think they are going to be able to counter me down, but they actually go for a charge move here. It's just going to be a Power Punch, and that will allow them to farm me down before I get to a Side Shock. And yeah, once again, things not looking very good for us at all. They have boosted their attack. They're going to go for a Power Punch here. I honestly don't think there's much use in preserving the health on my Scrafty. We're just going to go for a Power Punch of our own. It's a CMP tie here, and we should be able to take out the Scrafty, but we're going to have very little health on our own Scrafty. We're going to swap into the Girafarig. My opponent instantly swaps into their Obstagoon here. I'm going to shield up the first charge move here, hoping it's a Night Slash, but it's an Obstruct. And if you guys saw my recent short, I got absolutely destroyed by an Obstruct Obstagoon, and here that is going to make the difference, because I'm not able to farm them down before they get to another charge move. I have to double shield the Girafarig in this matchup here. I'm going to go for a Psychic Fangs here, expecting not to get a shield, but it actually does get shielded. I guess I could be running Psychic, which would have done huge damage. Second Psychic Fangs comes through. I'm hoping to get to a foul play before they get to a Poison Fang, but honestly, they probably could have just farmed me down here. And once again, we do lose to the Nidoqueen double dark team, so really not a great start for us. Hopefully, things do pick up into the very next game, and yet another Nidoqueen. Are you actually serious here? My opponent's actually choosing to stay in here. This time I swap into the Girafarig. I realised like if I'm coming up against the same team every time, I might as well swap into Girafarig because I at least can start getting shields from my opponents or put in some work, whereas with Hypno, we really just have to rely on the Focus Blast. My opponent's still staying in. They actually do shield here and I will take a shield advantage. That is fine with me. I'm going to come in with the Hypno here. They go for a charge move here. I'm calling the Poison Fang bait, and it is just a Poison Fang. Hopefully I can farm them down, but I'm barely not able to, and they get to another Poison Fang. They're still not going to take me out, so I do let it go through. We're able to farm them down now. They're going to come in with their own Scrafty. Is it going to be the same team once again? Who knows? We're going to go for a Power Up Punch here, up against the Scrafty. They go for a Power Punch in return. We're going to go for another Power Punch here, and honestly, I just hope that they let this go through. And they do let it go through, which is perfect. I'm now not going to shield this either, and we should be able to take each other out here with one more counter. And they do have a Wall Rain in the back, so this is at least playable here. I'm going to go for the Psyshock bait. And we do get the shield from the Wall Rain. Honestly, don't think I'm going to get to a Focus Blast in time, so I think I am just going to go for another Psyshock here. We go for one more Confusion. Maybe we would have made it to the Focus Blast here. Is this a mistake? No, it doesn't look like it, because I'm still able to Confusion, farm down the Wall Rain before they get to another Icicle Spear, and I'm able to take that game. So into the next game here, we lead into a Trevenant. My opponent's going to swap into a Drapion. We have to just stay in here because we don't have an answer to Dark types in the back, and at least Girafarig does resist the Ghost typing with its part normal typing. They're going to go for a Sludge Bomb here. Honestly, I think I might be able to farm down and shield once, but I go for a Power Punch here, hoping I could farm down before they get to another Sludge Bomb, but I'm not able to, so a bit of an inexperience there. I haven't used Scrafty for a long time, so bit of a misplay there. They're gonna come back in with the Trevenant here, so I'm thinking if it is a double Dark team, I probably have to pivot into my Girafarig here. My opponent stays in initially. I'm going to let the move go through, and my opponent actually goes for a Shadow Ball, not recognizing that we are part normal. So I'm going to go for a Psychic Fangs here up against the Trevenant. It goes unshielded, and it doesn't do an awful lot of damage, and unfortunately our fast move is double resisted, so they might even be able to farm me down, but they realise I'm getting to another charge move, so they catch it on a Talonflame. Very nice play by my opponent, but I do lower their defense, which is nice because I'm now going to be able to fully Confusion farm down this Talonflame, especially if they go for a Brave Bird here. And they do go straight for the Brave Bird. We do tank it. Hypno is a very bulky Pokemon. I make a massive mistake here. I would have been able to survive one Shadow Claw, and Confusion would have taken out this Trevenant, but instead I swap into the Scrafty, underestimated how much energy they had. They go for 2 Seed Bombs, and here you see that we would have tanked one Shadow Claw. The second one takes us out, and it's a simultaneous KO, so not the best first set for me there. Into the next set, we're going to lead into an Escavalier. We're going to go straight for a Foul Play. I don't expect them to make a catch because this is typically a good matchup for the Escav. They're doing super effective damage, but they've got non-stab counters. They're actually just going to go for a Drill Run, and that allows me to get to a Power Up Punch, and if my opponent lets this go through, then we will win the zero shield scenario here with the Escavalier. They come in with an Alola Muck. This is not looking great for me whatsoever. They're going to go for the charge move. I really hope they don't bait me with an Acid Spray, and they do go for the Dark Pulse, which is great because that doesn't debuff my defense. I'm going for the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt does big damage here. I'm able to get to a Psychic Fangs before they get to the next move here, and Psychic Fangs barely, not enough to take them out. They swap out. Do they have a charge move loaded? I'm not sure. Potentially they do. We're going to come in with the Hypno here. They go for an Icicle Spear. We can comfortably tank that and probably tank the next one as well. We're going to go for a Psyshock. Psyshock gets a shield from this Wall Rain here, and we are going to be able to get a full Confusion through as they throw on alignment. They go for an Icicle Spear, and we actually shield in this matchup here. What I don't want is for the Wall Rain to fully farm me down, and now they have to commit to throwing another Icicle Spear here. Icicle Spear, still not enough to take us out. I swap into Girafarig. They try to catch a move or throw their own move, but the damage registers on that Muck before they can do anything. I go for a Psychic Fangs. It lowers their defense, and I'm able to double kick, farm down the Wall Rain, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into yet another Nidoqueen. We're swapping into the Girafarig, and once again it's a Scrafty coming to meet us, so not looking good, but they do just go straight for a power punch. I'm going to bait with a Psychic Fangs. I know this isn't going to get a shield, but the thing is, it's going to lower their defense, allow me to get to a Thunderbolt, and if they don't shield this, then Thunderbolt is going to take out the Scrafty, and we flip switch advantage, which was super important. We've seen us get absolutely destroyed by this Nidoqueen double dark team multiple times already, but luckily they do allow us to flip switch advantage. They go for a Poison Fang. They're actually not running Obstagoon, they're running Snorlax instead, but this is still absolutely fine for me. I'm going to go for a Power Up Punch and then fully commit to farming down the Snorlax. I don't have to shield in this matchup. Even if it's a superpower, we will tank it comfortably and I'm able to counter farm them down. I'm going for a Foul Play, but honestly I should just go for Power Up Punches here. They have to shield in this matchup, otherwise it's going to be game over, and there I'm not able to get to another charge move and I would have boosted my attack. But we're going to shield the Poison Fang here. They need to get to 2 more Poison Fangs to take me out, but they're not able to, and I'm able to Confusion farm down the Nidoqueen and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, I'm facing an XL Slurpuff. This is the first time I've ever seen it in the Ultra League. This is very cool. They're going to go for a charge move up against my Hypno. They go for a Flamethrower that doesn't do an awful lot of damage. We're going to commit to the Focus Blast here. Unfortunately, we don't quite get there, but I can barely tank a Hydro Cannon. We're going for the Focus Blast. Is this enough to take out the Swampert? No, it's not, and unfortunately we're not quite able to Confusion farm them down, which is very unfortunate because that does mean my Scrafty is going to remain aligned up against the Slurpuff, so maybe a bit of a mistake there by me. They go for a Hydro Cannon, doesn't do an awful lot of damage. We're going to swap instantly into our Girafarig. If they come back in with the Slurpuff, which they do, and now here I am going to use a shield. They throw on alignment, which is perfect. We get a full double kick through. We're going to overfarm here, go for the Thunderbolt, and hopefully Thunderbolt is going to be enough to take out the Slurpuff. And they barely hang on with 1 HP. That is really frustrating. If our Girafarig was fully powered up, maybe we would have been able to take them out there. But as things stand, we have no shields remaining. I'm able to get to 2 Psychic Fangs here, and they do now have enough energy to throw an Aqua Tail. So I'm going to swap into the Scrafty here. My opponent doesn't throw straight away, so very smart. They're going to go for the charge move. It's an Outrage. We barely hang on. We have a Foul Play loaded, and they kind of have to let this go through. And Foul Play is enough to take out the Dragalge, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into a Tentacruel. Not great. I'm going to swap into Hypno, and we're met with another Scrafty. So honestly, the amount of poison dark combinations in the wrong order for me is just it's just very frustrating for me. They're going to go for a Foul Play. We do tank it. We're going for a Focus Blast up against the Scrafty, and we do get a shield from this Scrafty, and my opponent going to commit to the farm down. No, they're not. They're going to throw their energy, but they've thrown so late that Power Punch doesn't take us out, and I'm able to get to a Psy Shock. Has my opponent been counting? No, and we get the final shield from the Scrafty, which is like best case scenario, honestly, so I'm very happy about that. They're going to go for a Power Punch here. They are now 2-stage boosted with their attack. I'm going for another Power Punch here. Honestly, with the Scrafty, I don't really care what my Scrafty does. As long as it takes out this Scrafty, I will be happy. They go for another Power Punch. They swap back into the Tentacruel. I'm going to meet them with my Girafarig here. Go straight for a Psychic Fangs up against the Tentacruel. And my opponent actually CMP ties me there. I'm really hoping it's not an Acid Spray, and they do go for Scald, so potentially running a Nuke charge move alongside it. Otherwise, they probably would have just gone for an Acid Spray. We overfarm by 1, go for another Psychic Fangs. We take out the Tentacruel. They've got a Swampert in the back, so it's not over yet. Girafarig still has some play. We're going for the Psychic Fangs. We're going to be lowering the Swampert's defense here. They're at the charge move here, and they are 3 Mudshots away from the next move here. So we're going for a Psychic Fangs, and then we're going to swap into our Scrafty, try and get that boosted damage. They actually swap, try to catch a move, and now I'm not going to throw my move here because I know that we will lose the CMP tie, but they throw straight away, meaning it's a race, and I barely get to the Psychic Fangs before the Swampert gets to another Hydro Cannon, and from this range we're able to take out the Swampert and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. And we did go 4-1 in that set to redeem ourselves after a pretty difficult start with this team. we lead here into a Shadow Dragonite. I'm going to swap into Hypno, and this time my opponent's going to come in with Swampert. We are going to once again let the Hydro Cannon go through. We do barely tank it. Last time they shielded the Focus Blast, or the Focus Blast wasn't quite enough. So I'm going for 2 Side Shocks here, and this time it's looking like maybe I should have gone for a Focus Blast, because the second one gets shielded, and with the confusion damage, we're barely not able to take out the Swampert. So it's a bit frustrating there, but that's just how things go. We're actually going to shield in this matchup here because I think they're going to go for an Earthquake, but they actually just settle for a Hydro Cannon. They swap into the Dragonite, and I'm expecting them not to go for the Superpower because they swap the Dragonite back in, and that would instantly debuff them. So we go for a Foul Play here. We get the final shield from the Dragonite. Maybe we can tank another Dragon Claw from this range, and we barely do, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get to the Foul Play, or at least not consistently. We could have gone for the new mechanic, but most of the time it doesn't work, so I just had to commit for that Power Punch because now I'm going to be able to shield and then farm down this Dragonite here. Swampert, I think, has a move loaded, so we go straight for the Psychic Fangs here. Psychic Fangs take out the Swampert, and they come in with a Wall Rain. We're able to get to a Thunderbolt up against the Wall Rain. Is this enough to take them out? No. Maybe if it was a Shadow Wall Rain, but as a regular Wall Rain, they do hang on, and they're able to take me out with an Icicle Spear and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into a Shadow Charizard. Not the best lead for us, so I'm going to swap into my Hypno here, and we do go for a CMP tie on the charge move. They do just bait me with a Dragon Claw, so that's fine. We're going to go for the Side Shock here, and this will do big damage to the Charizard, probably expecting like a Thunder Punch, so they shield it anyway. And they do go for a move just before I get to the next Side Shock. Dragon Claw is enough to take me out. And now I'm going to come in with the Scrafty here. Even though counter is resisted, I think it's a more comfortable farm down. I'm actually going to shield here. It's just a Dragon Claw. Probably weren't at the Blast Burn just yet, so maybe a mistake by me here. But we're going to come in with the Girafarig. They come in with a Surfetched. They're going to go for a Leaf Blade, so probably not running Night Slash. We're going for the Psychic Fangs here, and if they let this go through, then it barely doesn't take them out, and I'm able to double kick, farm them down just before they get to another charge move here, and that is vital because now I can go for another Psychic Fangs up against this Venusaur. This next one will be getting the shield, and at this point I've lowered their defense by 2 stages, meaning this Foul Play from Scrafty is going to do huge damage, and we will be able to tank a Frenzy Plant on the Scrafty. So how much damage is the Foul Play going to do from this range? It barely doesn't take them out, and one more counter is enough to take out the Venusaur, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we are going up against Inadequance, a very good content creator and great battler, also Chandelure enthusiast, so no surprise they're running it in the lead here. They're going to swap into Mandibuzz, a bit of a core breaker, but when it's running Snarl, it's actually not so bad because we can wow, I'm very good at speaking. We can comfortably tank 3 Aerial Aces, and the Snarls just aren't going to add up, so they will need to throw a 4th one. We're going to let the second move go through here. Honestly, I should have been reading that they've come in with a Dark type. They've probably got another Dark type in the back, but I really want to showcase the 2 Pokemon in the back. I'm not really keen on features where you showcase a off-meta Pokemon and then like another very meta Pokemon that just carries the team. So I'm actually going to let the Scrafty go down here. We did have the opportunity to take them out with a Power Punch, but I sort of miscounted their energy. We come in with Hypno, we farm them down. They've got an Umbreon in the back, and things are not looking good for us. I'm going straight for the Thunderbolt here. This will do big damage to the Chandelure, but it's not enough to take out the Chandelure, and they're going to go for a charge move. I will actually shield up in this matchup here, because I will be able to get to a Psychic Fangs before their next Flame Charge here. And my opponent does commit their shield, and they're able to fully farm me down. I'm just going to let this go through. Honestly, a boosted Flame Charge probably does more than a Foul Play or a Dark Pulse from the Umbreon, but I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to win this game. Even if we land the Focus Blast here, it's still nowhere near enough to take out this Umbreon, so that is unfortunate, and we will be losing this game there. Dark Pulse, easily enough to take out the Hypno, and yeah, we lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into the final battle here, we lead into another Escavalier. I'm just going to stay in again. This is my best matchup, even though they're doing super effective damage with the counters here. We're going straight for the foul play once again, and I'm able to land it, and they're going to go for a charge move here. It's just another drill run, so we do comfortably tank it. They swap into a Kingdra here, so I'm going to swap with my Hypno. Going to let this go through. It's just going to be an Octazooka. Hopefully it doesn't debuff our attack, and it doesn't, and now we're going for the Side Shock here. And my opponent does let the Side Shock go through, and this does allow me to fully confusion farm down the Kingdra, which is perfect. We go for another Side Shock here, up against an Ampharos that comes in, and we do get a shield from my opponent, which is perfect. I'm going to come in with my Girafarig after fully waiting at the switch clock here. And then I'm going to force them to throw on alignment, and I'm able to get a full double kick through, which is nice. They go for a Thunder Punch. We're now going to go for one more double kick, go for the Psychic Fangs here. Up against the Ampharos, we do get a shield from my opponent, and now I'm going for another Psychic Fangs here. My opponent is going to overfarm, try and throw at the right timing here, and they go for a charge move here. We can safely shield the Thunder Punch here. Go for one more double kick, go for another Psychic Fangs, take out the Ampharos, go for another Psychic Fangs up against this Escavalier, and then I think I will be swapping into my Scrafty to take out the Escav there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. So that's going to be it for today's video. I had a ton of fun running this team, and remember, the Shadow Girafarig isn't fully powered up yet, so it's only going to get even stronger as I continue to grind for those XL candies. Unfortunately, we met the Nido Double Dark team, or variations of that team, in like every other battle, so maybe not the best representation of how this team performs up against the entire meta, but since we did come up against those hard counter teams over and over again, and we were able to adjust, and Girafarig actually being able to flip a matchup and make sure that we did win a game, that just shows you that it is a pretty strong Pokemon, even though it's still not fully powered up. So I'm very happy with its performance. So if you did enjoy today's video, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And just to let you guys know, I do actually have one more 100% Shadow Pokemon, and that's Kanto Shadow Weezing. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me invest in that Pokemon and eventually run a triple 100% Shadow team in the Ultra League. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we got Jeremy, who says, earlier this season I lost to a guy running a level 50 Fracture in the Open Ultra League. Only thing I could do was tip my cap, and yeah, honestly, when you see Spice like that and you do end up losing, you can't really feel bad. You just sort of have to say, yeah, well done to the opponent, fair play, that's an awesome Pokemon and you fully deserve the win. Next, we got Jad, who says, a mad lad excelled Golbat and Pelipper and decided to run them both together in the Open Ultra League. Unfortunately for them, I was trying out Electros, who feasted, but mad respect for that person. And honestly, that person's probably thinking there's an algorithm, because who builds an XL Golbat and Pelipper and then runs into an Electros? That is just some serious bad luck, but honestly, some very cool spice. And finally, we got JCL, who says, Swallow XL at around 2200 CP. It nearly one-shot my Giratina using Ice Beam, but Swampert handled it perfectly. I think that's a pretty big exaggeration, because I looked it up and Ice Beam only does about 35% to Giratina. But anyways, XL Swallow is still a very interesting XL Pokemon, so very cool. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.